I'm Anthony. Nice to meet you guys. It kind of just all stems from you having to fail, and instead of looking outward, you really, really, really have to look inward and see what you're doing, and like what Steve said, like the process, like what is the process that you're following and that you're getting the results. And say if you're extremely late one day, or extremely late like one weekend, and like you look back in your results and all you did was like tee, or like you didn't really get any early swings. So it's kind of like you look back and you do, all right, I'm gonna need to get the head out, so I'm gonna do that by putting the machine super high and like seeing high velocity. It's like looking at all the things that you did to get to where you were, and like that's what I do when I'm struggling. I just analyze that, and if my process is genuinely good, then I just continue to stick through it. But like there would be times this year when you succeed and you're following like some sort of weird routine, and you keep following it, and then finally you fail, and you look at that routine that you've been doing, and you're like, wow, that doesn't make any sense, and isn't really conducive for long-term success. So that for me at least, I look inward and analyze what like I'm doing to prepare for that moment. And a lot I don't know, a lot of people do much of the same too. So.
And I guess my biggest question then would be for everyone here. You said failure, and Howie said something about dieting, and Robbie said something about pitching. How do you know, or how do we know that like it's not outside the thing that is causing the failure in your eyes, what you deem as a failure, isn't outside your control? So actually, your process was absolutely sound, but because something external was happening. Like, for example, Robbie gave up a home run. Let's say Robbie gets absolutely ripped. A bunch. How do we know that they don't have the catcher signs? So Robbie thinks it's his process. His process thinks he has to change stuff up. And all of a sudden it's like, well, no, they just knew the catcher signs and they knew what was coming. Or anything like that. Howie losing weight. His process sucks. How do we know that, he doesn't have some sort of, I don't know, nutritional chemical balance that isn't messing him up a little bit or something? You know what I mean? How do you combat that?
I thought the biggest thing for me is that I could feel it, like, inside of me, that I lost that edge that I had. And I thought that was probably one of the hardest things, because it wasn't a fix that I could look at on video, or I could mess around with, like, a grip, how I was throwing a pitch. Like, I could feel that I lost that competitive edge that I had, because my confidence was shot. Because, like I said, I was putting too much stock into the fact that, I didn't throw the ball well last time. And, I guess kind of circling around to changing things, all it took for me, it was so awesome, all it took for me was one inning. One inning where I went out and I just threw the shit out of it, and I was back. It was unreal. And that was one of the more, I guess, rewarding feelings, just getting the ball and, like, understanding that, like, all it's going to take is one inning, one out, to kind of get that back. And I rolled from there. So
it's so funny that you said so it's an internal process. It's something that you just feel internally, like you knew just because you knew yourself, right? It had nothing to do with okay, I gave up a home run, whatever. It because I didn't feel well. And it's Howie. I think it's funny that we diet so much and we feel like we'll work out, we run, we do whatever, and we feel really good. And then we're like, oh well, we're not getting the results we want, but we feel hella good. So, I mean, like, at some point in time, isn't that the goal? Is just to feel really good?
I guess, yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I still look good with my shirt off, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say I don't, but...
Robbie, that's a great point. And, Steve, I can actually speak on that. So, like, last year, I would always... I mean, I kind of, I really like to hit. I love the feel of it. And last year, I would chase a result. Like, this is for, like, specifically for training. Like, I would chase a result, and I needed to have that result, like, multiple times instead of, like, this year, whereas, like, I just focused on, like, feel, and if I felt good, I was done hitting, versus, like, chasing some sort of result. And it's just, like, if I didn't get that result, then I would make up a problem in my head that was wrong with my swing, when in reality, like, I should have just been chasing, like, that feel. So it's, like, the feel versus the result thing. Like, keep it,
I mean, Stevie, basically, going off what Galson was just saying, I mean, the reason why I get so stuck and I feel like I should be better is because I step on the scale and look for a number.
Yep.
And if it's not the number that I want, I feel like I'm disappointed in myself, I didn't reach my goal, all this stuff. But when you're right, in reality, we work out like every day, we run, we lift, we feel great. But just because I looked at that number, I didn't reach that certain goal that I set for myself, I feel like. I feel like crap.
And that is probably another 6-hour conversation we can have about like results and numbers, Howie, which is so funny to me. Like, and me and you talk about this all the time. Like, hey, I want to be 100 pounds or 200 pounds, right? Like, I'm gonna be 200 pounds today instead of 215 pounds. So I diet and I work out, and then all of a sudden, what happens? I'm 205 pounds, right? And then I'm like, ooh, I'm close. And then I get to 200 pounds. I'm like, dude, I did it. I reached my goal. But how do I know that I probably shouldn't have been 185 pounds? You know what I mean? Like, that's what's amazing to me is I think we limit ourselves a lot of times when we focus on a number. So, like, in baseball, like, I when I played, I always had a batting average in mind that I wanted to hit, right? So in college, it's like 350. I want to bat 350. Right? I want to hit 10 home runs or whatever the goal is. And it amazes me, though, that, okay, if you hit 340, you're a failure. And then if you hit 350, you're a success. What if you were supposed to hit or you were good enough to hit 420, right? But you capped yourself at 350. And I see that a lot with kids, right? You see that all the time with kids being like, I want this ERA. I want to go to D1. I want to do this. I want to do that. And once they hit it, it's over. So